everybody? Welcome to our Thursday night show. Little scheduling snafu. If you don't pay attention, you have to hit PM instead of AM, and evidently I screwed that up. So we had people stop by evidently this morning, and they did not see a show, and I apologize. That is on me. I just realized it a little bit ago. That is not on Mr. Polton. That is definitely on me. Anyway, I'm not a perfect man, but it will get. Speaking of which, the man of the hour. Let me bring him on. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Hopefully we're streaming to your channel okay. We'll find out if you start showing up in comments.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a bigger crowd than me. Anyway, so let's see. Mark Penguin, maybe?
Yeah.
So it's one of your, yeah. So he probably stopped by this morning going, what the heck, man? So yeah, that's on me. That's on me. Past Master Dan, LOL. I guess he was here too. And hello from John's Loan Box. Awesome. I was taking a look at your website. Let me bring that up. And you got quite let's see, here it is. So you've got quite the collection here going on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really taken off. I guess
Mhm.
since 2017 when we started Haunted Pizza.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, I was kind of looking through your back catalog here. Um, got a few things published. Anyway, yeah. Certainly, I have I have a few things myself. So I'm not entirely unfamiliar with your work. For some reason it doesn't set that as a default, but you're since this is with your son, I thought I'd bring up these things right here.
And
Got
nice.
yeah, Sea Dog and Kill Switch 1 and 2. Um, I don't believe you have any more of those, do you? That just 1 and 2.
No, it was
Uh,
1 and 2. Uh,
okay,
like it started out very wholesome. Like my
yeah,
son came up with this idea for a superhero.
right,
Um, and then Clint Helinski was asking to work with me, and he was like, "Oh, I have these characters codenamed Kill Switch. They go great together."
yeah,
And the books are really fun, but like
right.
his are more like adult oriented.
Well, I mean, Rebel, right there,
Yeah,
and Pirate Queen, that's definitely more Clint
yeah,
style. So, he's definitely more of a pinup guy.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but I'd say but you did work on this new one with your son. I know he co-wrote that Sea Dog Kill Switch thing. So, how's he coming along as a writer?
Good. He's impressive. Like I started working with him way back in 2017. Our first book we
Hmm.
did together was Pizza Tree. At the time, he was only 7 years old, but he came up with that
Wow.
idea when he was like 4 or 5, and it
Hmm.
was about a little boy who plants a slice of pepperoni and an evil pizza tree grows from it. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, he's got my like sort of sense of humor.
Little twisted. Love it, love it.
Yeah,
Um,
and we got nominated for a Ringo Award for that. So
oh,
he started at the top of the industry.
right. Yeah, he kind of hit the ground running. Ringo Award. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't know that's named for Mike Ringo. He actually was a North Carolina boy, but he had a very distinctive style and just died way too young. But yeah, Ringo was a sweetheart. Never got to meet him. I found him after he passed, and I was just like, ah, I definitely would have run into him at HeroCon or something. Hello, Scribe Comics is here. Haunted Pizza does it like no other. I guess he's your one of your
Our theme
mods.
song.
Right. There you go. Hello, you talented bastards. Yeah. Hey, Dave. Steve calling you talented. That's something. Definitely. Yeah, I do have first three volumes of that one.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I can definitely attest to at least up to volume three. Um, I did collect from that moment on, but I did get to volume three. So I do have a couple more of your output. But this one looks a little bit like has a different feel to it and vibe than what you usually do. This one seems a lot more slanted towards the '90s than some of your output. Is this? It's kind of like one of those epic books.
Yeah. So the story behind Universal's initiative is
Mm-hmm.
kind of crazy. It goes back over a decade, and it wasn't originally my idea.
Ah,
I was hired to do a
yeah.
work for hire writer.
Mm-hmm.
A studio out of Mexico reached out to
Oh,
me
okay.
and said, "Hey, we're planning this huge superhero universe." They were big Rob Liefeld fans. I had just worked with Rob on Savage Hawkman and
Yeah.
Evangeline, and they liked my work and they wanted to know if I would be the writer of this like slate of books they had planned. And they
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, we already have a artist on board," and the
Ah.
artist was John Malin. And John and I were already friends. We were already way
Mm-hmm.
back in 2010. We started working on Graveyard Shift.
Mm-hmm.
So John and I had gone way back. We were currently working together, but I had no idea he was working on this Universals project. And
Wow.
they asked if I would be the writer of this. I loved working with John, so I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I heard you doing this book. Can you tell me about it? And like, are they legit?" And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, they're legit." He was like, give them your DC page rate." And yeah,
Right.
sure enough, they like said yes, and I was on board writing these books.
Yeah.
um they had it planned as like a whole universe of different titles, and John had drawn one of the books, and he was getting ready. They had just like given him like a Marvel style, given him like a couple paragraphs, and he
Ah.
drew the issue. And the same with the second title, and then they handed him off to me, and I crafted a story out of these
Yeah.
pages. And they had these big plans. They had hired a second artist to draw the third book. They paid
Mm-hmm.
him in advance, and unfortunately, he didn't deliver any pages.
Wow.
And the project sort of stalled for a while, and there was false starts every now and then. They would like reach out to me and say, "Hey, we're getting ready to start again," and then COVID happened, and
Yeah.
then that really set them back. The guys who own the studio, the one owns a chain of restaurants in Mexico called Comic X. They're superhero themed restaurants.
Ah. Wow.
So all these characters appear on their menus. They have a life-size statue of the leader Aguila welcoming you into the restaurant, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other owner is an architect. He built all those restaurants, but once COVID happened, he was busy building hospitals all over.
Ah.
So it just sort of fell by the wayside, but the one owner always kept in tabs on what I was doing, saw all the
Mm-hmm.
success John and I were having on Graveyard Shift, and I always loved the work we did. So I reached out to the one owner, Hugo, and said, "Hey, if you are never going to publish this, what do you think about me acquiring the property, and I'll redo it and give it a proper release?" And the owners
Mm-hmm.
loved that. So I acquired, at the time it was called Universals. I soon found out someone beat me to the punch in the States and released the book Universals. So I changed the
Mm-hmm.
name to Universals Initiative.
Initiative. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's planned as a 3 book series,
Okay.
Universal's Initiative, Universal's First Strike, and Universal's War. So I have, it their idea didn't really translate to what I had in mind.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of separate releases. I like to
Mm-hmm.
do graphic novels, so I decided to break it up into a 3 book series. I
Right.
rewrote it, and that's where I brought my son in, and I had John's pages recolored, relettered to go along with the new script. But I still felt
Okay.
it didn't work. It didn't quite work as a single release, so I brought in Dan Dahl to draw a whole new opening
Oh,
to the
okay.
book.
I hadn't
Yeah,
heard that name in a while.
yeah, formerly known as Booty Juice way back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I know. Didn't he have like a cancer scare a little while ago?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I know he was
Oh, okay.
doing he does some books for the Zaid brothers.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, he does a woman's breast like nobody. I mean, he literally has a character with three breasts. I think it's Goblin something other, Goblin Girl, I think. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
Dan.
thinking of Dan Plagle, not Dan
Oh,
Dahl.
Plagle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I got this mixed up. That's my
yeah.
fault. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. My apologies to both Booty Juice and Dan Plagle. My apologies. Uh, I did notice that you did kind of have like a big team that was popping up in Volume 3. Is that the same guys?
No, no. So
Oh, okay.
with team three of Graveyard in volume three of Graveyard Shift,
Yeah.
we introduced uh, Brahm and the Monster Hunters, and
Oh,
then
okay.
eventually in like one of the supplemental books, we introduced Omega
Hmm.
Storm. This is separate from Graveyard
Oh,
Shift.
okay. Yeah. My bad. I guess I'm 2 volumes behind, so
Yeah,
that's why I just that's on me. It's on me.
yeah, no
I
problem.
need to get caught up. Uh, but anyway, so let's take a look at your campaign here on FMC. Let me see. Yep, bring it up right there. So here we go. Um, I like it's a very well put together campaign. You've done this before, evidently.
I
Maybe
just finished fulfilling my 30-second campaign across multiple platforms. So
there you
yeah, yeah,
go. Wow. I know you did Wrath and Pain on FMC. Is that the
yeah.
only books that you've done on FMC? Universals and Wrath and Pain.
Uh, no, no, I did a volume of U.S. Assassin
Oh,
on my
okay. That's
comic
right.
book.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. My fault. So this is the core team right here.
Yeah, so this
Um,
is actually so the
mhm.
big red guy. He's one of the main
Yeah.
players in the book. It's such a great. It's a double page spread in the book. It's such a great image. His
Wow.
name's Atlas Bloodgore,
Yeah.
and those guys actually with him
Mm-hmm.
are a group of villains in the book. They're at the
Oh.
time Atlas has a checkered past, so he becomes spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the main universals who fight these characters and some of our others going into this story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit of a flashback, that image.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you had a big group, um, like page down towards the bottom.
Yeah,
That
and
I
these
guess.
are pages by Dan Dahl, and then
Mm-hmm.
we get into the John Malin pages right here.
Ah, right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. Yeah, that's definitely Malin. Um, he's has a very distinctive way of drawing noses. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, and this is when he was fresh off Youngblood
Mm-hmm.
back in I guess 2011, 2012.
Right.
He calls it his pinhead era because he says he was drawing characters with smaller heads, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love it. It definitely has like you could tell he was fresh off a Liefeld book with this,
Oh yeah, definitely Livefield esque. I always thought
especially with the
the
character designs on this.
right. Okay, this is the picture I was talking about.
Yeah,
Uh,
so that
mm-hmm.
this is it's a combination of our heroes and villains.
Mm-hmm.
The covers split on the left side, all the heroes.
Right.
On the right side, our villains, and then our our main character who sets things in motion, Nucleo, right in the dead center.
Ah, right. Yeah. You always got to have your mule. You got to have your lead character. This is a cool Atlas
Yeah, so
art style.
this cover, this is by Joe Bennett, who I worked with on Savage Hawkman. Uh,
Right.
Joe is one of my favorite artists in comics. I love what he's doing
Mm-hmm.
with Horseman over on Ripperverse, and I
Yeah.
reached out to him and asked if he would do a cover
Mm-hmm.
for me. First, I asked him if he still remembered me because Savage Hawkman was quite a while ago.
Right.
And he was like, of course. So yeah, this cover is awesome. Inked by Shelby Robertson, colors by
Yeah.
Dan Kemp.
Shelby Robertson. It's I can't remember the name of his, but he's got a really cool comic too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Ragetality.
Rage
Yeah,
Tality. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Uh, I mean, when Joe Bennett, I heard that Joe Bennett got canceled off of Salvage. I'm sorry,
Immortal
Immortal
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah,
I was like, he's freaking Joe Bennett. How in the world can you cancel him off of anything? And it's like, oh well, he liked a tweet or something, and it's like they canceled him off a book, and I was like, holy crap, it's Joe Bennett, you
yeah.
know?
I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up on all the current
Yeah.
events and canceling and stuff.
Well, you're better off probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a minute. I was like, now he's free to do whatever he wants to, and you guys are going to
yeah.
regret this
I think
decision.
he's doing some of his best work too right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you're yeah, this is Rotten Pain and grave graveyard shift. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Um. Well, I mean, the thing about the quote unquote canceling of artists is they don't understand that they essentially set them free.
Yeah.
And basically a lot of the Marvel and DC apparatus is essentially to crush the creatives, especially artists. Especially artists, they have a hate on for artists, but they basically the idea is to make them a commodity, to where they essentially like um, the actual IP is more important than the person.
Yeah.
And I think it comes out of the image boom and the whole Wizard way
Oh
of
yeah,
the
definitely.
Wizard magazine, like raising artists up to rock stars, and then suddenly Image happened, and so they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
we
want no
learned
one
our
to be
lesson.
bigger than the character.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and so that's why if soon as somebody gets popular on one book, they'll switch them over to
Yeah.
another book, and they don't want people to get iconic. Um, But when somebody gets like quote unquote booted out of the industry, as it were, it's like shackles off. I
Yeah.
mean, uh, it's like people like Billy Tucci, Brian Polito, people like that. They never got into it, and so they can't be canceled out of it.
Yeah.
Somebody, Billy Tucci was talking the other day about how he tried to give advice to this comic company. They basically asked him some process questions and some things like that, and he tried to give them advice, and they ignored it. And I'm like, it's Billy Tucci. Billy Tucci's giving you advice. You
Yeah.
know, what the heck are you doing? Ignoring it. But that's one thing that I think that mainstream comics, the reason why they're dying is because the IP, basically, the IP and the creators were always like the secret sauce was pairing the right creator with the right IP,
Yeah.
and then leaving them on it long enough to have them work it out. Really, especially a writer and artist team, if they're like cooking, you leave them, let them cook.
Yeah.
um I was watching something on a gosh, what is his name? He did Captain America for a long while. He did the Winter Soldier arc. Starts with a
Oh, Ed Brubaker?
Ed Brubaker, and how they kept moving him away from the artist that he's currently with, right now,
Yeah.
and they kept trying to like take him out of the crime area, and crime is like the mystery and crime is kind of like his thing. I mean, the whole Winter Soldier comic was basically a crime novel. Essentially, it was a mystery man, and he was trying to find out who the mystery man
Yeah.
was, and then you find out it's Bucky, which is great writing. But but it's like the system itself is like Harrison Bergeron. You remember that short story?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the handicapper general. You know, oh, you're flying too high. Let's put some handicaps on you. You know, let's keep you around this level here where your page rate doesn't go up.
Right.
Yeah, and and so when when Gail Simone says, you know, we need to get rid of that guy. You know, he might have conservative leanings, and then the flying monkeys all attack, and that person gets pushed out, and then suddenly you find out they're crowdfunding something. You look at what they're crowdfunding, and it's like, wow, it's like you're capable of that. And that happens over and over again. I think you've got 32 books that you've crowdfunded, and you've got a whole entire empire here with haunted pizza that you're building. Um, and so they did you a favor by stop calling. You know, I mean, when you say if
Yeah.
you
No.
still, yeah,
So yeah, I guess the last time I worked for mainstream was 2012, Savage Hawkman,
hmm
and at the time I thought this is as big as it's going to get.
hmm
No, then when I started working on my own comics and making, starting Haunted Pizza,
yeah,
I mean, nothing compares to this. And
right.
that's what happens. Like people, if they see me at a convention and they give me a Savage Hawkman to sign, and they say, are you ever going to go back? And I tell them, but like, how much more
Are
successful have
you
been
looking at
since
this
then?
table? You look at
Yeah.
this table here.
Yeah, no, like it's surpassed my wildest dreams that I've been able to do
hmm
all this, create all these properties,
Yeah.
and I've been fortunate enough to get them funded and out to people, and to work with my son. Some of the artists I work with are my best friends. It's the
Wow.
dream job.
Yeah. But there you go. This guy here, like this Keith Morange, it's got a comic called Skylights. It's
Oh,
about to
I've seen it. It looks
close.
great.
Yeah, it's about to close at 7 o'clock. But we're talking about somebody who basically was doing storyboards in the mainstream. He probably still is. I think that's his day job. But this guy is basically working on everybody else's property, and then but secretly he's like putting this together, and then you look at it, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, you're capable of this, but this pays the bills. And you see this a lot where individuals who have like so much so much more talent than they're allowed to express, and then they get outside of supposedly the mainstream. Let's face it, when you look at the numbers, the mainstream's not the mainstream anymore. When you look at cultural impact, and I mean, they still got, Spider-Man went over what 2 billion the other
Yeah.
day. So they still got like some cultural energy, but that's just because of the press. And but the thing about it is outside of Spider-Man, they are dropping the ball on everything, running everything into the ground. I watched the Superman movie that James Gunn did the other last year, I think, and I was watching it, and I'm kind of like, there's no affection here. There's no love for Superman and what he stands for. It's like he's getting beat up all the time. This is Superman. What's he doing getting beat up all the time? And it's like, well, he's wanting to make him vulnerable so people identified with the original Superman movies, but and Christopher Reeves was iconic. Uh, and it didn't matter that the guy could lift the San Andreas fault, evidently. Uh, and turn back time or whatever. He's still relatable
Yeah.
somehow. And so, that's at the end of the day, everybody's looking for humanity, and looking for people who uh, they can aspire to, or people that make them feel like, oh yeah, I got the same problems, and if I had superpowers, I would still be, I would still have the suffering that I do. And somehow that encourages you, because you always feel powerless, and it's like, well, even if I did have powers, I would still be here, and there's some kind of like encouragement to that.
Yeah.
That is, I'm not like insufficient. It's just, this is my current situation, and that can't be understated, I don't think. So what is the favorite characters that you've created in this run as an independent comic creator?
Oh man, I would say my favorite is probably U.S. Assassin,
Ah,
and close behind Ride and Pain.
mm-hmm.
U.S. Assassin, just like, it's everything I loved about when I first like experienced like fandom, like comic books.
Right.
G.I. Joe was the book that brought me in.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching movies in the 80s, canon films like American Ninja.
There you go.
Um, and act when we had action heroes like
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
I
like
don't know why
combine that.
people don't talk about Cobra more.
Oh, Cobra's
Cobra
great
was a
movie.
superhero. I mean, he was a superhero, man.
Um, so it's like it's that love letter to that era when
Yeah.
I first like started loving comic books and movies
Mm-hmm.
and cartoons. So that's a lot of fun. And then Writhe in Pain, working with Chris, that was an idea Chris had, and
Yeah.
he asked me to if I would want to be his partner on it and write it. And the
Right.
characters just spoke to me so much. They looked like those 90s image horror books, like
Yeah.
Spawn, Creech, The
Right.
10th, stuff like
Oh, he has a
that.
lot of Spawn in it. A lot of
Yeah.
Spawn in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I showed my letter or an issue of Spawn and said, let's do, let's do this when we're
Oh,
lettering the book.
oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
so
the
what's
chains. I mean, there's a lot of chains,
Yeah.
and
Well, so what's funny is
mhm.
there was a Spawn Con a couple years ago.
Yeah.
One and done. It took place in Colorado, and Tom
Oh,
Orzechowski was there.
wow.
Uh, and I showed him a copy of Writhe in Pain, and he went through the entire book and like
Wow.
critiqued the lettering, and he would like point out the things that he loved in the book. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, it's because I ripped you off. Like
Right.
you're the best letterer around.
Yeah, it's like wow, whoever did this is an incredible letter. Or we kind of like, well, we kind of like, that's yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
fit your taste,
I think
sir,
he
for a
knew. I
reason.
mean, I
Yeah.
told him like, we loved his work and that's the vibe we were going for. But
Right.
oh, he was so cool. He was like he said to me, he goes, I wished we lived closer so we could just like hang out and talk lettering. I was like,
Right.
that'd be
Right.
amazing.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, a lot of that, things like Writhe in Pain, or that. I mean, you could tell the passion that the that Chris has for that book.
Yeah.
Just in, you can tell when somebody's genuinely doing something they love, or by characters they genuinely have affection for, and you can tell when people are just like, it's a paycheck.
Yeah,
And
no, those were characters that Chris had for a while, and he
right.
just for whatever reason couldn't get it off the ground. Originally, the book was called Saving Grace, and
Ah,
he brought me on, and once I started like coming together with some ideas, the main characters were Writhe and Grace, and I was
ah,
like, man, it's right there, like Writhe and
Writhe in
Pain.
Pain. Yeah.
And I said, first thing I want to do is change the name. And he was like, oh, really? And then I told him the name and it like clicked with him. And he was like, yes, let's do it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Names, sometimes names just come to you. My community service book is. I was thinking about this uh like this organization is trying to uh basically restore superheroes back to society that have kind of like fallen out of favor, and uh, and I was just sitting there one day, and I was like, I mean, they're just sitting around doing community service, and it's like, ding, it's like, holy crap! And then you got the double entendre of like, well,
Yeah.
they're serving the community as heroes,
Yeah.
and it's just like, bam, and when you have that moment, it's just like electric. It's like, wow, it just opens everything up.
Yeah, no, I'm a big names guy. Like I'll build a whole book around a name. That's how great I
Yeah.
first came up with Graveyard Shift. I was like, that would be a great name
Oh
for a
yeah.
team book.
Right.
And I was like, well, what is that book? It has to be a horror book.
Well,
And
I love Universal Monster Derivatives.
yeah,
I have a few of my own.
yeah,
Everybody. I think anybody that loves like classic horror has
yeah,
like a derivative somewhere,
yeah, of
But
course.
that's the stuff. Renfield's my favorite character. You know, I would have got to volume 3, but I was kind of like hoping that he'd be used more, and I was like, come on, man, Renfield's right there. That a spirit AI, the spirit of
Yeah.
a dead man as an AI, and it's just like it's awesome. That's an awesome idea. Um, and especially calling him Renfield, and you got the whole Bram Stoker tie in there. Uh, but yeah, let's play your trailer here,
Sure.
right quick. So this is trailer for the Universal's initiative. Let me go ahead. And we'll go widescreen on that. And here we go.
Galaxies have burned. Worlds have fallen. Now, Earth is next. This summer, prepare for Universal's initiative, the biggest independent comic event of the year. A brand new superhero graphic novel series where ancient mythology collides with cosmic warfare. Written by the award-winning father and son team of Mark and Chase Polton, Universal's initiative is the culmination of years of world building. Introducing the secret city of heroes known as Lumakenael, where the mighty Universals stand as Earth's last defense against two immortal conquerors who have spent centuries destroying civilizations in their search for the mysterious Life Stone. Leading the charge is Aguila, commander of the Universals, alongside unforgettable heroes, powerful villains, and the mysterious Atlas Bloodgore, a former galactic conqueror searching for redemption before the universe is lost forever. Bringing this epic story to life is an all-star creative team, featuring breathtaking interior artwork by John Mallon, the legendary artist behind Cable and Thunderbolts, and rising superstar Dan Dahl of the Rippaverse. John's pages are beautifully finished by Chris Graves and Don Edwards, while every page explodes with gorgeous cinematic colors by Anthony George. The book also features stunning chapter break illustrations from Spawn artist Adelso Corona. Choose from incredible covers by Joe Bennett, Deborah Carita, John Mallon, and an oversized deluxe edition featuring an exclusive cover by comic book legend Rob Liefeld. This is more than a comic book. It's the launch of an all-new superhero universe created by creators who grew up loving comics and wanted to build the kind of epic adventures they always dreamed of reading. Universal's initiative arrives this summer. Join us from the very beginning, because when galaxies burn, heroes unite, legends begin.
That is cool, man.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I like that idea. It's like, well, we grew up loving comics, and well, suddenly comics doesn't love us anymore. And so what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to stop loving comics, or are we just going to walk away from away from the art form, which a lot of people have done?
Yeah.
And it's like, or we're just going to like take those ideas, because everybody that's ever read a comic book has like either put themselves into it or built their own character in their head and kind of plugged them in. It's like, oh, that it would be cool if I took this little piece of Wolverine, maybe the healing factor, and I took the shield from Captain America,
Yeah.
and maybe gave him a little bit of this over here, and bam, I got slapped together a character. I think, and everyone that's ever read comics has had that. And so when they suddenly mainstream comics is like, well, we don't want you anymore. We're all sitting over here is like, well, we can walk away from the art form, or we can, make our own.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
When I was working on Savage Hawkman with Rob Liefeld,
Hmm.
he said something to me that stuck with me throughout my career. He said, "Mark, we make comics for people who still have that sense of wonder."
Yep.
And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I make the comic books I grew up loving, and there's people out there that still want those types of comics,
Hmm.
big epic fantasies." And
Right.
that's what Universal's initiative is. Big heroes, big action scenes, heroics. It's everything that made me fall in love with comics.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's essentially, um, it's just like maintaining the love that we've had for the art form all the way.
Yeah.
Um, I was watching Wonder Woman and Incredible Hulk when I was I'm dating myself a little bit. Gen X, I'm Gen X. And yeah, I was watching I guess Wonder Woman in reruns because I remember it's the middle of the day. It wasn't prime time. But yeah, I just remember the whole idea of like Incredible Hulk. You know, he hulks out. Throw and basically busts through a wall, and it was just like, or Wonder Woman like bending, a tire iron around like and handing it back to somebody, and it's like this little scrawny and Linda Carter. My gosh,
Yeah.
um, and it's just like bigger than life, more it's aspirational. I mean, the whole idea of David Banner's running from town to town. I mean, it was the fugitive model. Okay,
Yeah.
it was basically the fugitive with superpowers. But Bill Bixby just showing up in these situations, and he's kind of like, I'm just trying to live my life and try to figure out try to fix myself. And then, well, I'm stuck in another situation. I got to intervene. Why do I have to intervene? Because
Yeah.
I'm inherently a good person and I have the ability to help. And so I
I, I I
can't
love
walk away from it.
I love the Incredible Hulk TV show. I would beg my mom to let me stay up to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was so scared of the transformation, I would hide behind
Oh,
her.
really?
Yeah.
It was pretty scary. I mean, I'm not gonna
And
lie.
it's the eyes in the transformation like
Yeah.
freaked me out.
Yeah. The funny thing about it is, I found out later that Ted Cassidy, the guy that did Lurch, was the voice of the Hulk.
Oh,
But they wanted him to be the Hulk at first, but he was looked too skinny to be the Hulk, and then he happened upon Lou Ferrigno in the Pumping Iron documentary, and they're like, "Whoa, that guy!" And but they loved the way Ted Cassidy like voiced the Hulk, and so they kept Ted Cassidy's voice because that whole lurch, that low
yeah.
rumble, and they kept for the Hulk.
Oh, I had
But
no idea it was him.
yeah, yeah, I didn't know either. I was like doing a deep dive when I did a show on it. Um, but like the first day on the set, the crane failed that they were going to use to flip the Corolla into the ditch, and uh, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna, what are we gonna do here?" And Lou Ferrigno kind of like, "I can lift it," you know. It's like I can. And so what you see is Lou Ferrigno literally flipping the
Yeah.
car with his own strength, and it's
Wow.
like, and they're all saying like, "What else can you do?" But I mean, but the whole idea of I have the power to intervene. I can't walk away from it because I have this responsibility. I mean, that whole thing with the Spider-Man and everything. Spider-Man could be a great villain, or he, when he first got his powers, what did he do? He tried to benefit from them, and it wound up causing Uncle Ben his life. And so he's never forgotten that lesson. But that part of aspirational heroism, it basically builds men. You see, like Shaq's got a Superman on him somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's on his bicep or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see over and over again, you see these guys that went into the military that have like Punisher tattooed on them, or Batman or something like that. This iconography matters to society, and when the cultural Marxists decided to ruin society, to move in their own philosophies, what they want to do, they want to cripple the men and make them all fearful and passive. And so what did they do? They went after a hero fiction. And so the idea being that well, if we deconstruct everything and don't and make sure all the heroes are so flawed that they're not aspirational anymore, then maybe it'd be easier to take over society and won't have so many men willing to step up and take control and say no, this far no further. And so something's got to take the place of that. Something's got to step in that gap. Somebody's got to light a candle and show young people the way. And so every time I see your son's name beside yours, I'm very encouraged by that because it's like that's somebody that inspired the next generation to get into this, and he's going to have years and years beyond us to keep lighting that fire, lighting those candles. So what would you say? What would you say the hero that most like made you the man you are today? We all have one or two.
I mean, uh, superhero or just like person and
Person or superhero?
I
Somebody
mean,
that was your
I
hero.
think for me, like I pride myself on my work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my dad.
Ah,
He was a foreman in a factory, went to
right.
work every day, even like if he was should have been in the hospital, he was
Yeah.
still there, and he instilled in me a work ethic
Mm-hmm.
that I work a 40-hour day job, and then I put in probably another additional 40 hours in haunted pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I try to Universal's initiative, the book's all done. There
Oh,
there won't
wow.
there won't be a wait. When the campaign ends on September 23rd, it goes
Yeah.
to print. I understand crowdfunding is to give the artist money so they can survive while they work on the book,
Yeah.
but I don't like that hanging over my head.
Right.
So I'll invest my own money and hopefully I can recoup it, when the book. But yeah, my dad was a huge
Hmm.
um, influence, giving me the work ethic that I have today. As far as superheroes, I mean, G.I. Joe, the real
Cool.
American hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got me into comic books. And, you know, America, good
Mm-hmm.
versus evil. It's right there. I mean, it hooked me.
Well, over there on the wall, I've got my shipwreck shrine.
Okay.
Okay, so I get it. I don't know why shipwreck always appealed to me. I mean, he's kind of a scoundrel, but
Yeah.
he's got a redemption arc there that I
Yeah.
really enjoyed. Uh, this guy says project looks great. Rick Sailor
Uh,
saying sup, T Bunny.
Separate.
What's up, man? Good to see you. Um, yeah, like when you say factory foreman, the guy, uh, my best friend that we were kind of like joined at the hip for like 15 years, but he started his college late in life because he ran around all America being an actor for a long time, and then acting dried up, and so he pivoted. But
Yeah.
he started a job like his dad was a factory foreman at a weave mill, and he learned from his father a lot like you described,
Yeah.
and he for in 10 years of actively working, he saved up enough money to buy this house, and he on his deathbed he's like, I just bought a house, will you live in it for me, because I'm not going to make it. And I'm like, okay. you know all right. And but we're talking about that work ethic, that he had. I mean, he went from you know, going back to college late in life to leading up their whole entire CAD program at this ever expanding furniture factory, and he, of course, when his whole when he was we were lived in the same. Basically, the reason he was able to save up all that money was because he was living in my with me, and I was paying all the bills, and he was just like socking it away. I didn't know how much he was socking away. I didn't
Yeah.
ask, but then he's like, "Oh, here's a house," and I was like, "Oh, that's how much you were socking away."
Wow.
But yeah, but I mean that kind of work ethic, that can take somebody from that late in life. But that just very inspirational for me. But I mean, ordinary humans can be superhuman. I mean, there's people every day that do things that are kind of like, is that possible? You read the story about Audie Murphy standing in a tank destroyer that's on fire, firing a 50 caliber at Germans and killing about 50 of them while he's calling in airstrikes on, to
Yeah.
keep them back. And then what happens? He ran out of ammo, so he crawls away from. He starts walking away from it to his men, and the thing blows up behind him, after he got off of it, and he's like, "Let's go push him back." I softened him up, and they're kind of like, "I will follow this guy into the pits of hell." This is. It sounds like I'm being outlandish, but this is actually in the Medal of Honor documents that he did this,
Yeah.
and from eyewitness accounts. But that's this little tiny Texan dude that actually lied to get into the army, and he did all this like 1819 or something. And but I mean, humanity has these qualities in them.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, my brother, he's a retired state trooper.
oh
He would
wow.
when he first started the
Mm-hmm.
job, he would tell me stories, and they were real stories, but they sounded like they were right out of an action film, chasing
Right.
people through
Yeah.
people's houses,
Mm-hmm.
going down dark alleys, and the person in there has a gun. It's
Wow.
it's scary stuff, and that's what he did
Mm-hmm.
for a full career. He just retired a few years ago. Um,
Right.
it was inspiring stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, this is like, I think Jordan Peterson was talking about this, but young men have to be built. Women pretty much they kind of age into their maturity, but young men, they essentially have to be taught how to be a man. And so the hero fiction is so vitally important to that, and especially superhero comics, which is our Odyssey, our Alien and our
Yeah,
Odyssey. Um, Finding out Captain America, this little scrawny guy, so determined to be a hero that he took part in this secret program that made him into the man that matched you know, his heroic aspirations, and so he got the body that matched that man. But he's still at his core, he's still the kid, and so he's still humble about it. Still has that humility. Perfect. The way they did it in the movie was perfect. Everybody that loves Steve Rogers is kind of like, that's Steve
yeah,
Rogers. Oh my gosh. Um, but it you got to pass these stories on. You got to, and if they won't pass them on, you've got to create new stories that take the place of it. And so anybody that's lighting that candle, and you've set up, you basically lit a forest fire. I mean, you got 32 titles. That's that's insane. I mean, there's comic book companies that don't have that many titles out. So I mean, that's off too,
thank you.
to your work ethic. Um, so this Universal's initiative, you kind of take over the IP, and you've got 3 books in mind. Um, so if when somebody jumps onto this universe, what are like the very distinctive characteristics that they're going to find? What are the selling points?
So I think like at least for me, I've never seen like a group of uh heroes like the Universals. It's a lot of Mayan based
Ah,
heroes.
okay.
What so originally when I was hired to do this, it was a studio out of Mexico. So
Oh,
they
right.
were Mexican heroes.
Yeah.
But when I was working on Savage Hawkman, I was coming up with this idea for a character I wanted to introduce that I never got the chance
Mm-hmm.
to pitch, called the Mayan.
Right.
And when I was rewriting the Universals and trying to give like their Age of Heroes a birth, like where did it come from? I was
Right.
like, oh, I remembered the Mayan. I was like, that would be perfect to be
Yeah.
the starting point for this universe, and
Mm-hmm.
it grows out of uh, the Mayan mythology. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's very unique looking characters that you really don't see a lot
Right.
in today's books. Plus, it has that old school '90s
Well,
excitement
Atlas
to
Blood
it.
Gore. It's very,
Yeah,
very 90s. I mean,
and
it's so on the. That's all like. Boop. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So that's one of the changes I made. Originally, the character was called the Croc, and
uh,
I told him, I was like, it doesn't really have the same connotation in in
right.
the U.S.
Right.
I'll like I make a reference to it as a group of characters, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
he needs like a name that's so on point, and
Right.
I came up with the Atlas Blood Gore.
Well,
And
that sounds like an ex despot, or a
yeah,
current despot. That really does. I was like,
and
yeah, that
you know,
checks. That checks. Yeah. Hmm.
John's character designs, like I said, it's straight off his Youngblood run. Those
Right.
characters, all kitted up and geared. You got the double swords on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like even Rob doesn't do that as much now because he streamlined a lot of his
Right.
characters, and uh, they don't wear as many belts or straps or pouches as
Right.
they used to.
Oh man, he used to have a lot of pouches and belts. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Uh,
it was cool seeing those characters kitted up. I was like,
yeah.
how do they stand with all that stuff? But they're so,
Right.
mountains of men. Of course they can stand.
Right.
They're heroes.
Exactly. Yeah. I did notice that influence Shaft's like half helmet thing.
Yeah,
Looks like Shatterstar or a
yeah.
Shaft kind of thing. I was like, yeah, that's very Liefeld. Very Liefeld. Well, I mean, it's really cool to see this like taking off like it has. I think you're about to go to Kickstarter in a week or two or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to launch on Kickstarter tomorrow.
Hmm.
I wanted to start on Fund My Comic because I'm a
Okay,
supporter of the
absolutely.
platform.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
appreciate
I
that.
love what you guys are doing. I especially love that you started the Fund My Comic Arena. Thank you for having
Hmm.
me on. So I gave it a month-long run. It's going to continue on Fund My Comic, and now we're opening it
Cool.
up the last month on Kickstarter, see how it does. But
Hmm.
like I said before, I want to reiterate, the book's all done, 64 pages. It's all been drawn, ink, colored, lettered.
Wow.
The print file's being prepped now. So when the
Hmm.
campaign ends September 23rd, one of the great things about Fund My Comic, you get the money as the campaign goes on. So I have the
Right.
funds that I can just place the print order, and it'll be showing up to people as soon as October.
There you go. Absolutely. Um, and Luke Stone announced today that we've got some mass market and some integration things that are going to come up where we can use multiple different pay possibilities. People can
Awesome.
choose to, and yeah, also integrating things that we haven't been able to do before, and it's all going to be go. It's currently it's not baited, but it's like there's a shadow uh server going on right now where they're debugging and kicking the tires on it, and as soon as that's ready, they're going to migrate everything over. They're not sure what that's going to affect, but there's a lot of things that people have been asking for that we're going to be able to offer, and it'll be very shortly. So within the
Awesome.
next month or so.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. My next 6 books are already done, so
Awesome, awesome,
I'll be
awesome.
using the new site.
You, I've got a book that's been in production for like 3 years, and you're like just popping them out. It's crazy, man. Uh, my hat's off to you. My hat's off to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But anyway, so keep Haunted Pizza in mind. Check out that website. It's hauntedpizza.com, I believe.
HauntedPizzaLLC.com.
LLC.com. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And you'll find everything that they've currently got in stock, waiting for you. This book is done back today. Or good luck with Kickstarter getting some of the more normie traffic, which is on Kickstarter. The ones, maybe somebody that's there to browse the gratuitous boobs will, maybe the Clint Hiliskis of the world will maybe wander over. I don't know. Clint does a lot of big boobs. He really does.
Does it well.
Does it very well. He's definitely. Greg Bo Watson did one of my covers, and he's a huge pinup artist, and it does that style. And I was asking him to do a guy, and so he struggled with that. And somebody's like, "I think your guy's got boobs." I was like, "It's not boobs; those are pectoral muscles." Okay, And but he had a hard time with it. It's like 6 months, and
Yeah.
and I hadn't heard from him. I'm like, "You okay? Is everything all right? You still doing it?" And he's like, "I'm trying. I'm really trying, but this is impossible." But he did a brilliant job. His wife was like, so he's like, I assume it's okay.
Success.
I don't know. It's a perverse pleasure I had in making somebody that runs off of gasoline run off of diesel for a little while, I guess. But I do things like that every once in a while. Keeps people on their toes. But thank you for coming on FMC Arena. You got any shows you're going to be on? I know you're
This
doing your own show. Pretty big
so
show.
every on my channel, Primetime Polton, every Sunday we do the Haunted Pizza Horror Movie Club. This week
wow.
we're talking The Boy from Below, which is a new horror movie that actually features Writhe and Peen artwork in it.
Oh,
so
wow. Cool.
Yeah, it just got released on streaming services for purchase or rent. I haven't watched it yet. I'm looking forward to watching it and seeing all the Writhe and Peen appearances in it.
What do you think about Obsession Backrooms and Iron Lung coming?
I loved Obsession. I really liked Backrooms. Iron Lung, I don't think I would have liked it unless my son made me watch like a 2-hour playthrough of the video game.
Right.
And I knew what I was getting myself
it's
into.
Very niche, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think other people, normal people who went into it, had no idea what they were getting into. But I respect it. I love DIY, anything, comics, films. So my hat's off to Markiplier for doing that.
Well, I mean, all three of those movies were put out by YouTubers.
Yeah.
And all three of them from completely outside the system, and all three of them made back their budgets like 6 times over.
Yeah, so it's inspiring.
It was very inspiring. I mean, it's a revolution essentially happening under our nose. I mean, Obsession was like pushing out a Disney property. I think it was Grogu, Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah.
And both Backrooms and Obsession were like at the top of the charts, while Mandalorian and Grogu was like in week 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's a sea change that's happening, and it's just like it's exciting to be right on the edge of the mainstream is just like losing their grip, and people who have been kind of like I guess marginalized and pushed to the side, who are actually fans of this stuff, actually supported this stuff, actually kept it going for decades. And we're told you're no longer needed because we have this ESG money. We don't need you anymore. We're going to find this other audience that doesn't exist. And so it's like, well, you just stay over there till we need you. And so we're basically like, okay, well, if you're that way, we're just going to make our own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely awesome to see this stuff succeed in the level, because it's got passion. It's got, it's got verve to it. It's got energy to it.
Yeah.
And people just sense it. You can sense the real deal. And so people like you that are just putting out so many awesome properties that eventually they're going to start looking around for things to adapt. And here's Haunted Pizza sitting here with like, okay, so you know, and
Yeah.
so and you write incredible panels, incredible action panels.
Thank you.
And everything I've read by you has just been so dynamic, and so I don't know what you do to write these panels to make them that energetic and special.
I'm fortunate to work with a lot of great artists that bring it to life. So
Yeah,
but
well,
yeah,
that
no,
probably helps. That probably helps.
I write what I want to see and not what I want to see them draw. So that helps.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, thank you for being very gracious with your time, Mark. Make sure you check out Primetime Polton this Sunday. Next FMC arena is going to be open, but beyond that, Mortal Rising is going to come in on September the 3rd. So I do need to book somebody from next week, but yeah, so that's coming up. Go and check out FM's funmycomic.com. See what's shaking right now. There's a Graham Nolan color version of Shinu that if you don't back it, it won't happen. And so he's like 6,000, I think, trying to get to 20,000. So, if you want to see a colored Shinu, you have to back that one today. That's my spotlight of the week. And also check out Universal's initiative. And thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, Mark.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.